Alright, guys. Follow-up video. Last one got a little rambly, so I'll try and keep this one fairly low tier. I figure I would explain one of the things I'm trying to end up doing with this army is make a 1250 point army list. The reason being is because I have one opponent who has kind of just gotten into 40k, has been building up chaos, and he doesn't have a lot to end up bringing to the table as far as options. So I'm trying to end up building a more well-rounded list. Something that is specifically tailored to face against, well, I shouldn't say tailored, but it's kind of a take-all-comers between orcs, space marines, chaos space marines, and unfortunately we may end up having Eldar in the near future. But before I start getting into woeful dismays about old battle scars again, I want to end up telling you the list. So, standing in is my old Hive Tyrant here. Now, the thing about my Hive Tyrant you might want to know is this was the first model I ever bought, built, and to show you the quality of its build right now, yeah, that is being held together by a staple. I'm pretty sure some of its pieces are being held together by wood glue. This would not shock me. It's not a particularly strong build. It's one of those things that it's such an old model and it was put together when I didn't know what I was doing. That being said, his replacement's coming in pretty soon. And I'm going to make it the first time I've ever magnetized something. So I'm going to magnetize a flyer base. So this way I can equip it as its head should be swappable, its arms should be swappable, so I can make it a flying Hive Tyrant, I can make it a Swarm Lord, I can make it a regular Hive Tyrant, making it just look like it's jumping into combat. I love the model. I think it's going to work out quite nicely. I'm going to try and log in on how I'm going to do the conversion for Twin Link Devourers. So it is going to be flying in Twin Link Devourers in this list. Backing that up is shooty warriors. And the thing about the warriors I'm sending are one Venom cannon, or it's just a group of 3 warriors, one Venom cannon, 2 Death Spitters. The other unit of warriors is going to be Scything Talon's Rending Claws, because everybody likes a Terminator-sized Genestealer. Really, the only way I can end up making it even closer to a Genestealer is if I was going to end up putting in Lash Whips, but I don't have that modeled way before my time. 10-pack of Genestealers, which showed up in the previous video. And then I'm going to be bringing in a 25-pack of Termaga and a 25-pack of Hormagaunts. The 2 biggins are the ones that might be garnering a little bit of attention. Now, the Mawloc is coming in stock except for a pincer tail, and the Trygon is coming in completely stock. No upgrades. I don't view this as a particularly strong list. I really don't. That being said, I don't feel like I could make a strong list even if I tried. But this is my attempt to get away from those horde lists I like to make. This one has 5 troop choices, and quite frankly, me bringing in Genestealers I view as more of a handicap than an increase, but it is what it is what it is. I think there's a certain degree of flexibility with this list. Oh, because he's blackened out, I almost forgot. I am also going to be bringing a pair of Zoanthropes. Now, this is that really old pewter model you might remember. Grinning like a fiend. I'll make sure that when he's painted to get some close-ups, but suffice it to say, with him, 2 in separate groups, specifically for Synapse. Warriors, Synapse. Hive Tyrant, Synapse. Fair amount of stuff requiring it, but I think for the most part I'll be able to cover it, especially at a 1250 point game. It's a lot of big creatures to be bringing in. I mean, 3 monstrous creatures in that regard is, still pretty rough, but we'll see on how it goes. I think there's enough redundancy in this list for it to work, but also enough flexibility that I should be able to end up taking on most of my primary opponents. I ran the list by them. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. However, if the opponent has no problem with your lists, there might be a little bit of a red flag. It might be them being completely legit. Might be a case of, oh yeah, I can stomp this into the ground. And I really, really, really don't want that to be the case. However, I've made a dedication to myself. When is the key purpose, not if. Never tell yourself if. If means it might happen, it might not. When puts a little bit of dedication, a little bit of a self-promise on it. But when I have all 1250 of this painted up, assembled, and ready to go, my goal is to lose with this army 10 times. Well, Derek, why would you lose? Why would you throw the game? I never said I was going to throw the game. I'm just going to specifically go after my opponent with this list until I lose 10 times. Now, by that point, I should have had at least 1 or 2 revelations of this is working or this is not working. This I'm having issues with. This might not be too good. I might want to try more of this. I might need to start thinking about my tactics a little bit more. But I'm hoping that with what I'm bringing to the table, it'll be enough to build upon and start building that knowledge base for when I build up to 1,500 or maybe 2,000. Still, that's the list I'm going to be running, and all comments, feel free to end up placing them. I would love to end up discussing this, or maybe you have particular thoughts on each of these units that you might want to end up offering some insight. List will be in the description, just in case you want to review it. And I think once I'm done the Genestealers, we're going to paint up a pair of Zoanthropes, because this guy has become very, very interesting to me since 4th edition. In fact, or since 3rd. Now that we're in 7th, he's gotten a lot better than I would have ever hoped. And that worries me. So, until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.